Hey everyone, I'm Daniel, and today I want to talk about the price we're paying for AI. And no, I'm not talking about the price that you're paying personally of using Gemini Pro, ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever. This is like a different topic that we need to talk. I want to talk about business. I want to talk if you are using generative AI for a product that you're building, an app, a solution for a customer, that brings us a lot of business decision into the pricing of AI. And pricing of AI, as you will see in this video, is very complicated and could significantly change your business decision, your strategy decision, and your developer decision. So let's just start with something very simple that I built. I built this table with a very simple pricing of most of the models that I'm using and my colleagues are using, and I just put the input token price and the output token price based on 1 million tokens. And as you can see, it's not that large table. I didn't put a lot of models that should be in that table, but I just wanted to keep it short for my needs only. And of course, I just added on the top a way to compare between them. And if you're just looking at this for a split of a second, you understand that there is like something going on here, right? How can it be that Claude 4 is that expensive on the output token and Gemini 2.0 is that cheap? I'm talking about this is like 20 times cheap. You want to tell me that this is not a business decision that we need to make? I think we have to make this business decision. What's about this gap? How can I leverage more of Gemini tokens than Claude tokens? So yeah, that could change everything. And now you can tell me, yeah, but our benchmark showed that Claude giving us better results in this task. I agree with you. I have the same benchmark that I'm doing for myself. And yes, I'm still using Claude 4 for some of my products, but I'm using more than one model, and I hope that you're doing that too, because most of the tasks, especially when you're building agent or agentic agent, there is a lot of space that we're doing in order to get the final answer that we want to present to the user. And those steps are breaking down into different tools and different use and thinking process. We don't need to use the same model for all of them. We can choose which model to use. And this is when it's getting very, very complicated to understand the prices of the model, not only the quality of the results. Let's just start with the price and let's see how complicated this is. Let me just jump into Anthropic website. Okay, so this is the pricing table of their top models. And I marked here Claude, Sonnet 4, the one that we saw before. Yeah, $3 token in, $15 million tokens out. But wait, what's in between here? What is this caching thing? Okay, so if you never heard about caching token, I'm assuming you're using too much LangChain, because LangChain and the other libraries like that usually flooding down all the complexity that we have in order to help us build quick benchmark and testing tools. But if you really want to work with a model, you should read the spec and understand what this model can do. For instance, caching tokens could save you time and money. Because if you're doing the same prompt or using the same type of information for several minutes with the same model, you could save time and money with just caching the token on the model side. Well, yeah, you need to learn about it, and that could change the way you're building and structuring your agent. But this is only small complication. Let's just move. I think we have here OpenAI, which did it very easily. Again, you have the caching, but not too complicated like Anthropic, that you have caching for 5 minutes or for 1 hour. But if we're talking about billing and complication, there's no one compared to Google in that area. So let's just start here, okay? This is the pricing table of Google. As you can see right from the get-go, it's going to be complicated. So we have input tokens, and input tokens can have different prices, depends on how many tokens you're sending in each call to the API. So if that's 200K, it will be cheaper than above that. And of course, we also have the same idea when we're getting the output token. So that could be a decision making of how you're going to build your agent. Because when I'm breaking down the task, I can figure out how to compress the token to get a better price from the model and still save the same quality when I'm getting the results out. So that's one thing. And then, of course, we have caching for those models as well. And I was only talking about Gemini 2.5 Pro. If I will go to Flash, you will see that now there's also different prices between text, image, and video compared to audio. And I can also make it more complicated if I'm going live or if I'm using the grounding of Google search, which I highly recommend it to use if you need it, but don't use it if you don't. And of course, I think somewhere there's also thinking tokens that we need to pay. Of course, we have thinking tokens, which you can limit it, but never mind. And if you're going to different model, you will see that there's a different pricing strategy for each one of them. And that makes this table a little bit useless because it only gives you an estimation of the price, but it doesn't give you the complexity and the real price you're going to pay for it. So let me just do a quick recap, okay? We understand that pricing is complicated, and we understand that pricing could affect the way we're working with the models, right? And we can change our strategy inside our agents to get better cost. Now let's talk about performance. Let's talk about the quality of the results. Well, if you're using one prompt for all of your different models, then you're doing it wrong. Definitely wrong, because each model have different understanding of our communication with it. So when I'm running a benchmark, it's different prompt for each model, which took me time to learn how to get the best results out of it. The easiest way is just to make sure that you know how to write, how to communicate with each model differently so you can get a better result. So that's like my first tip to you, how to make sure your evaluations are not showing a significant change, because most of the models are pretty good in what they're doing, and they can give you very good results for what you need. And yes, there are benefits and for each one of them, and each one of them is special in different type of tasks, but all in all, you can get more than what you're doing already. So I'm putting the quality on the side and saying that's fixable. Now we just need to break it apart, the task, for what we're using when, and how we're thinking about how many tokens we have and how much we're going to pay for them. And this is the most hardest task I ever met when I'm dealing with AI, because you saw the complication of the pricing. Now, all of the models will tell you how much token you used on the reply. That's no problem. We have this number, but now we need to calculate with this table with prices that keep changing. And I think there is a better solution for that. But that is something that we need to demand from the model provider. And I need your help with that, because it will be much more easier when I'm getting the response back from the model, not only to have how many tokens I use, but also to have how much it cost me. And that will change everything for me. Now, I know it could be a little bit more complicated because, well, if I am a customer who also have some discounts at Vertex AI, then maybe the price will be different. But it's solvable. We can do that. And I really, really hope that the model providers will add this business information into model, because that, first of all, will help us get a better business decision. But more than that, we can actually figure out how much each of our customer cost us, because right now it's a mess. We don't know. We need to have estimation. We charge them more just because we're afraid that they will use more tokens. But if I could know exactly how much each one of them cost me, I could charge more fairly. And yes, I still think we should charge fairly our customers. Sorry, maybe I'm weird about it, but that's how I do business. So I need you to spread this video to people that you know that might affect the decision makers of Google, OpenAI, Anthropics. What else are you using? I don't know which model you're using. Just send them the video and ask them. It's so simple for them to edit. And if it's complicated, then just open up for us another API, because most of the APIs return some kind of an ID for the call that we made. If I could just take this ID and use a different API to get the pricing, that will be good enough for me. But I shouldn't be the one who calculated the price. That should come from the provider, because it's so complicated. So please help me and help the rest of the developer community just get this price right. And think before you're making business decisions. It's important to see the price in order to make sure. That could be the difference between startup who's earning money than a startup who cannot go to the market because their business model is just not worth it. No one will buy this because it's too expensive. I put the table that I created online. It's a temporary because the prices are not changing, and I just did a one-off just to get the prices. So I probably will remove it from the net in a couple of months, but for now you can use it. And if you couldn't find it, which means you look at this video too late, you better subscribe, because I think I'm going to use this type of content more often. So subscribe, like, share. Thank you very much. Save your money, save your customers' money, and see you on the next episode.